horse challenge with the guy, I had to sit like this, like that, and they loved it. And I just did this for all the photos, the rest of the show, and nobody noticed. No, there was a tarantula on my face. I was on a harness, but I was like, girl, don't experiment, just use your angle. And then it worked. And I was like, wow, I can model. It's not that hard. You need like 4 angles, and then you just kind of like cheat your way. Like I had this really cheesy line in Mismatched where I'm like, yaar, aisa puppy dog face banaogi to tumhari khilli nahi ura sakungi. And I was like, who says khilli? Like it's so like, it's almost like turkey. And I have a line where I'm like, hey, mera samosa chakna hai. Like what the fuck is that? Who wants this chakna or samosa?
Are you a loser? Are you a freak? Do you need a lover? Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. Don't bother me.
Welcome to Real Strugglers, where we talk to real filmmakers and actors about their struggles working in the chaotic world of films. Today, our guest is actor-model Priya Banerjee.
Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. What's up?
Priya, but how did you, were you acting before you moved to India as well, or?
No, I was working in tech.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did you like it?
Obviously not. Who likes tech? Like no one's passionate about, maybe they are, but.
So wait, why did you, was it something that you just didn't really think about doing?
Honestly, I feel like growing up, I'd always come to Calcutta, and because my family's full Bengali, and like Calcutta, no offense, is like quite uneventful, and like not from living in California to Kolkata, I could never imagine like living there because it's just so slow and people sleep all day and eat all day. And then my mom has a best friend that lives here that they went to school together, so she was like, you should just go, like you love Bollywood, just go. And I was like, yeah, okay. And then I went, and I was like, my mom's best friend lives here and she has 2 sons that were like my age-ish. So I was like, oh my God, can you guys take me to Film City? I want to see, like, we're going for the shoots. And they were like, ew, we're going to Blue Frog for a Metallica concert. And I was like, what? And like, I was just so shaken by Bombay in general because like no one here gives a fuck about what I thought people would care about. And so I was just really intrigued by the city. And that was like 2011. And that was also when she took me to Lakme. She used to run a modeling agency of just Icelandic women. So she was like very in the scene. And she was like, you want to go?
Super niche.
Super niche. And they're all like 8 feet tall blonde women. And she was like, you have no idea, Priya, like how I used to control them. Anyways, that's a different story. I went to Lakme Fashion Week with her in 2011, and those days it was in Grand Hyatt, and I was just like, wow, like this is amazing, Indian fashion, Indian this, and I was like just always thinking about it. But then after I finished college, I was like, Mom, I really think like I can just like go for a bit. And they were like, we've paid for you your whole life, college, everything, like now fuck off, like you do your own thing. So I was like, okay, I'll work in tech for a couple of years and then I'll see. And after like 2 years in tech, I was like, dude, I can do this when I'm 30. Like selling software is so boring, and I can literally, there's no age barrier. And I was like, if I want to go, I need to go now. So then I moved here in 2016.
When you did think about moving to India, it wasn't with the intention of you wanted to become an actor or something.
It was always there, but we are just like, when you're from a non-acting, completely like tech background, like my dad went to IIT Kharagpur, my mom went to Delhi University, literature masters and all. So I was just like, to even say those words, it's like a joke. So I kind of never told anybody. And I was like, even if I can just model or like something, like find some way to earn, I'll be fine. And so that's why I kind of started modeling. But even modeling took forever to happen, because people here were always like, oh, you're an NRI, like you're just here to faff, like we're not going to give you work. You're like, they always just have these like preconceived notions. And then I did India's Next Top Model, and that's kind of when things happened.
So wait, how did India's Next Top Model happen? Did you have to audition for it?
Yeah, I had to audition for it. So luckily at that time, like I had been going to different modeling agencies, like Tawab is really big, but they all were like, nobody wants like a new face that they have to start grooming from like day one. It's very rare that they want that. Like nowadays there's a lot more, but in those days there was one agency that had just started, and luckily they were like, okay, you can join our agency. And the stylist that was there was also the stylist on INTM. So he was like, I'll help you out. I'll tell you all the challenges. Just audition. And like INTM always wants like an NRI angle. So they also in the interview were like, all the girls are going to pick on you because you're an NRI. And I was like,
did they?
Yeah, of course. Oh my God. And I was just like, I'm just here. Like, I also didn't know how anything. I had never been in front of the camera. I'm a classical dancer, but that's like not like, in terms of modeling, you have no idea. So it was really good because INTM was like boot camp for me, because you live in a house in Malad for 3 weeks, and like they take away your phones, and it's like when you just move to a country and that happens, you're like so shaken. My birthday was during that time. They didn't even let me talk to my parents on my birthday, and like I think I was like 22, and I was like, as a 22-year-old, this is a very like traumatic experience. And like obviously I was in the bottom two like 3 weeks in a row. So Lisa Hayden was the main judge at the time, and she was like, listen, I'm really rooting for you because you're like me. We're like we're from here, but you need to be a better model. And I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is the first time I've ever been in front of the camera. And there she was like, just like, you can do this. And like there was a challenge on a horse with like a male model that we had to do, like Ashoka the Great vibes. And like that one for some reason I nailed, and like then it was fine. But it was just like a very traumatic experience.
Wait, how do they decide who's on the bottom, who's on the top?
They look at your picture. You have to, there's a challenge, and then they look at the challenge's photos, and then they, whatever photo is the worst, they put the two people in the bottom, and then the judges are like, who should we keep?
So were you upset when you were at the bottom?
Every week, yeah, because I had no idea what I was doing. Like I do this weird thing with my face that I had no idea, and they're like, why are you doing that with your eyebrows? And I was like, I don't even know what I'm doing with my eyebrows, because I've never like selfies were not a thing then. Like that's like all new. Like cameras and stuff were not. I don't know, whatever. So then it's really bad, and this is how I cheated, is that horse challenge with the guy, I had to sit like this, like that, and they loved it, and I just did this for all the photos the rest of the show, and nobody noticed. No, there was a tarantula on my face. I was on a harness, but I was like, girl, don't experiment, just use your angle. And then it worked, and I was like, wow, I can model. It's not that hard. You need like 4 angles, and then you just kind of like cheat your way.
So you so by week 3 you kind of figured out your...
Yeah, and all the girls, that's when the girls started picking on me. They were like, you were just pretending to be a fuck all model. And I was like, why would I pretend to be a fuck all model? Nobody wants to pretend. And they're like, and all the judges were like, Priya has shown the most improvement. We've groomed such a beautiful model. And I was like, literally, I was just, you guys didn't teach me anything. I've just been doing the same thing for every week, but nobody noticed. And yeah, I got in the top 3, which is pretty cool.
So did they pay you for the show?
No.
Oh, you don't get paid?
No, it's full like MTV, sorry, is like super like, they just made us be half naked all the time. And they're like, close set, but they're like, Jao, go run around in your lingerie and do things. And I was like, this is full like TRP. And like they would be like, Priya, can you try to, like there wasn't enough drama because we were all like really nice girls at the end of the day. So they would try to make drama just for the fuck's sake. Like one day Gaba, one of the judges, showed up at the house and was like, I'm here for brunch. And he made us all write on anonymous questions to the girls, and like one girl was like, why are you here? You're not even from India. Like you don't even go here. And I started crying on national television. Anyways, like that Priya was so different because like I had no idea what reality TV was like, and when I was there I was like, everyone's so nice and I'm really gonna be my authentic self. And then I was like, shit, I should have been way cooler and not so fucking dramatic. Like I cried the day I met the judges because I was like missing my dog, and they're like, why are you crying about your dog? And I was like, bitch, I don't live here. Like I miss my home. Like obviously I'm gonna cry. But like they were just like, that was like all they used in the trailer. And then I gave them like photos from my school when I was like a little bit overweight. So they were like, she was obese, like 100 kgs. I was like, I was never that. So like I feel like they just kind of like take what they need, which is fine. That's reality TV.
Would you ever do reality TV again?
No.
Never?
They wanted me to go on Big Boss, so I was like, fuck that. Like I went for the audition also because apparently they pay really well.
Yeah, they do.
Like really well. So my agency was like, you're NRI, it'll be great. You'll get like a lakh a week. And I was like, sure, okay. And they put you at the audition. They make you fill out whatever, like a 10-page questionnaire. And then they make you sit in a round table room like this with like cameras and all, with all like 10 contestants, and they're like, fight. And they literally just leave you to like go. And they'll be like, who do you think is gonna go first? And everyone pointed to me because obviously I can't yell in Hindi and be like galis and all. So I was like, obviously it's gonna be me. So they all pointed at me, and then I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna last a day on the show. But then I watched Big Boss and people talk in English all the time. So I was like, what is this like Hindi only thing? That Pooja, what is this behavior? Pick it up if it bothers you. That whole thing is in English, and it's like the most
Who's Pooja?
Remember? She's like, Pooja, what is this behavior?
I have no idea what you're talking
You
about.
can't tell me what to do.
Oh yeah, there was a reel.
Pick it up if it bothers you. Yeah, that viral clip. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
I would have been so good at this shit. But whatever, it's okay.
You always have next season.
I don't want to
look
know. I'm
forward
okay. I
to.
don't think I need to go on Big Boss. I'm fine. It sounds really scary and not, like, people are too savage.
Yeah, no, I know people who come back from Big Boss and wanted to like kill themselves. It's horrible.
Yeah. And I feel like Indian people are already too opinionated. Like, we get enough on social media. We don't need like a reality show asking for that. After INTM, I'm definitely, there's no way.
But through INTM, did you start getting more modeling gigs?
Not really, because the fashion industry knows it's a fuck all show. It's more just like for entertainment. But I did get like good Instagram.
I've seen you in Lakme. I've seen you in a show in
So
Lakme.
that all started slowly happening because like they do want, like in that sense, modeling industry is really good at like, if you're a nice person and like you're easy to work with and you don't do back and like crib a lot, like they love you. So I was getting work, but it was just honestly like the working conditions of like modeling here are very like underpaid, overworked, and like.
What expectations did you go into acting school with? Did you want to like loosen up? Did you want to be?
I thought they would tell me like it'd be like math, like X plus Y equals Z, and then that's it, and then you act. Like had no idea it's so subjective and like finding your own process and how you like acting with the person and like how you want them to act. It taught me more about that, and like I feel like that's like. So you can tell because like when you have a scene partner, it's so much more like a team effort, and if they suck, you're gonna suck. So you kind of just learn how to like work better with people, and like I feel like I wasn't doing like in modeling, it was always like a solo.
Yeah.
You know, like there's never any teamwork, which is great. I feel like acting is way more fulfilling. Like you get to interact with people and like still not be yourself. Like modeling, you don't really get to hide behind like a.
So what kind of process did work best for you that you learned over there, picked up over there? Was there any process in particular, or do you like just manage to use them as tools and don't really think about it anymore?
I think it's more for the tool. Like, I think also it's very different. Like when you're playing a role that's completely different than you, then you need a process where it's like, what would this person do in this situation? How would this person behave? Like if you're playing a serial killer, like obviously I don't know how to kill someone. So in that sense, acting school.
You don't?
No, I mean, I don't know if I could do it.
Okay. So, but did you have any like acting work before you did Jeff Goldberg, or was it purely just modeling?
Yeah, purely just modeling.
So did Jeff Goldberg help you build the right network you needed to get?
Network, not so much, but they gave me the tools for sure, like confidence and like auditions in general, I think are a skill that you need. Like even if you've never been to acting school, you need to like go through 20 auditions to like learn. And like I would only do my auditions on like front facing camera because I was so I was so traumatized from modeling that like I don't know what my face is doing. I don't want to do a take and then see it later. And a lot of actors are like, that's really distracting. How do you do that? But I'm like, this is great for me because now when I'm on set, I know exactly like which tooth and like which nostril hair or like anything. Like I know my face so well, and I feel like even for ads and stuff, it's even better because ads are always like, why are you frowning? Like don't frown. Like you become aware of like exactly what your face is doing, and it's like it sounds like superficial, but at the end of the day, that's like what is gonna
Sell.
Yeah, you could be a great actor, but like you make weird faces or something. Like who knows? There's so many like small little things that I'm like, I don't have time to fuck up another audition because I don't know, something's twitching or I don't know.
But how did you even get these auditions? Like, did you email casting directors? Were you looking at their Instagram stories for casting calls?
When I first moved here, it was like I had an Excel spreadsheet that my dad made me keep, and like here people hate like when you text and follow up. Like I was being so American. I'd be like, hey, do you have time for a call at 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday tomorrow? Like no, like people in Bombay don't like that at all. They'll like you'll schedule it and then the day of you'll never
forget about it.
They'll be like, what? And like if you follow up, you're that annoying person. So I feel like I couldn't do that traditional method. I kind of just kept doing ad auditions, and then I feel like networking really helped in the sense that like I just kept meeting people that were in the industry and they were like, okay, well this person is casting, like meet them. But like even that, it's never good. Like it's never nice when it's like, oh, my friend is an actor. Do you want, like it kind of feels like you want to earn it that way. So it's always better if they see something or like, oh, we know that you are, oh, we knew about this. Like, okay. So I feel like like my friend Panchami, she luckily was my friend. So like both like Mismatched and this other, like she also does Dharma casting. So it's like, that's how I kind of got in like those auditions. But I still don't get auditions from like a lot of the big casting directors, which is not, you can't like, I can email them and I can send them intro videos, but it's not gonna
amount to anything.
Yeah. Like at the end of the day, until they need your face for something, they're not gonna call out to you.
So you had a list of casting directors, their phone numbers, email IDs, and then you just started sending them emails and messaging them, trying to set up calls.
It didn't work. It did, and I feel like, I don't know what it is, but like, I kind of see it now, but people kind of think Americans are annoying. Like they're just like, we know, and I don't blame them because a lot of Americans, they come here with like a 12-month plan and like in 12 months, I'm gonna do this, 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 and this, and then I'm gonna fuck off. And it's like, you're just coming to Bombay to take. Like, you need to be someone that's like you need to integrate, understand the community. Like, people know that you're matlabi if you're, and I feel like a lot of Americans do give that, like, not vibe, but like they're so career driven, and like Americans are so like the Google Calendar and like on this day, this, that, like everything is so regimented that like Bombay taught me to just like learn that if nothing happens today and I just sit in bed and like watch TV, that's okay, because that's the kind of city that it is. And then one day like when it rains, it pours, and then one day someone will call you. Like, I remember my first job that I ever got was this Lux Golden Rose Awards. Like, it was some award ceremony that Karan Johar and Shah Rukh were hosting, and they needed models for a segment that they were honoring the olden times, like Zeenat Aman, Sridevi, Rekha, Junabi Mumtaz, and I had to wear that orange sari that's really tight. And I was like, fuck, my first job was with Shah Rukh Khan, and it was insane. Like, it was like a movie. And we had to go to Film City at like 11:30 p.m.
So that also got crossed out of your bucket list.
Yeah. I was like, Mom, this is my first job ever. Like, how am I getting to like even meet him? And like he was so nice. We had rehearsal the night before, and it's wild because I feel like that night that we met him, like we were supposed to rehearse at 11:30. Obviously, it didn't happen. At like 3 a.m. we rehearsed, and he was like, "I'm so sorry, ladies." He took selfies with everybody, and like he's so fast. He was like knew everything within 2 minutes, and he's like, "Okay, we're done," and like we're going home from Film City at 4 a.m. And I feel like I posted a picture on Snapchat, and I feel like Nazar happened because the car literally drove into the divider and my head hit the back of the driver's seat. And I was like a new model then, and I was with the coordinator and like the booker or whatever.
Yeah.
And they both looked at my face and they were like, you're fine, don't worry. And I was like, oh my God. And I could feel like one drop of blood coming down. I was like, there's a show tomorrow. It's my first job. I'm going to be a Shah Rukh Khan. And I was like freaking out. It was fine. It was actually fine. It just became a black guy the next day, but like not the day after. You know how it takes like 2 days to bruise? So the next day I was like having like whatever you call it, like PTSD, because like my head was hurting and I was like, I just felt like really hungover.
Or a concussion.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. I think it was a whole, like, there's no 911 here. So I was also like, Priya, what if you needed a 911? Like, who would have come? Like, these people don't even know you. Like, all these thoughts were going in my head. And I was like, I shouldn't have posted that picture on Snapchat. Like, it's all my fault. But then the next day they were like, you need to be there at 11 a.m. And I was like, bro, like, I have had like a night. Like, can I go at like 2 p.m.? And they're like, no, it's your first job. They'll just replace you. Like, we don't want you to have that reputation. So I went at like 12 and they were like, Tiki to hai, kya drama kar rahi thi? And I was like, what are you talking about? There's a full like scar and the makeup artist is like covering it up. Anyways, like that was like a great experience because I was just like, got to meet Shah Rukh Khan, but like smashed my face at the same time. Like, when God gives, but God takes. It's always like a little bit of both.
So wait, this was post Jeff Goldberg, this gig?
No, this is right after INTM. So I did INTM and like within like 6 months, like then things started happening.
And when did you run out of your savings, or do you still have them?
I ran out after a year. So I didn't earn. I moved here in 2016. All of 2016 was INTM, this small Shah Rukh jobs. They never paid more than like, for a new ramp model, you don't get more than 15K per show.
Okay.
So I would do like small shows, but like that barely. And also those days they didn't pay you for like months. So I thank God I lived with like my mom's friend, so she kind of like fed me and shit. And like my mom was covering my rent, but like until like the year after that, I don't really think you can't support yourself here. And there's no side hustles, or like you can't be a waitress. You can't like, and if I was in New York or something, I could easily just get like a fun, cool job and like pay my bills. But like there was no option like that here. So I just kind of had to like ask mom. I like literally took loans from my mom the whole time. And it's like so like sad. But then up until COVID, and then after COVID, like thankfully Mismatched happened, and like now I'm like moving to Bandra and doing big girl things, which is like a big deal because I didn't think in Bombay that I would be able to like. I did a yoga teacher course just to like see, because my best friend is a yoga teacher. So I was like, this could be good passive income. And then I was like, who's gonna like, I don't have the bandwidth to like, you have to be a really good person to be a teacher. Like you have to want to be like, I care about you. And like, I care about my friends and my family, but I can't, if some new girl walks in and she's like, teach you how to downward dog, I'm gonna be like, I don't have time for this. Like, I don't think I'm there yet. Maybe in like 10 years when I have a little bit more patience. But yeah, right now I'm just kind of riding this like acting content creation wave and seeing what's happening.
But during COVID, what were you doing then?
I was here for a few months, but then like nothing was this only was supposed to be happening.
The Dharma film.
Yeah. And even the year, actually, no. First wave, I auditioned for Mismatched. So that was when I auditioned for Mismatched, and then I went back for like 5 months, and then I came back. But both this Dharma Mismatched thing were both happening during COVID, thankfully. So I went home for like 6 months. I was in the US, just like sitting.
Did your
getting
parents
fat.
try convincing you to come back, to move back and not go back to India?
Yeah. They're like, ho gaya hai. Bas, like, aur kya karna hai? You did Lakme Fashion Week. Like, now what else? Like, it's enough. Do your MBA, get married. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, chill, yeah, it's fine.
But has it come to a point where they are convinced about what you do and they think you can make a career out of it, or is that something that they're still unsure about?
No, they will be unsure forever until like the fact that I'm financially stable right now is like they're very happy, but they're kind of just like, why can't you do that here? Like, come to New York and get a nice like tech job and also do whatever you're doing right now. And I'm like, I would literally have to start from scratch. Like, I've worked 7 years here and like finally gotten like somewhere, like to go again and like be again, like start from scratch. I'm like, I don't know. I think I talk about it all the time. Like, my brother lives in New York, so I do want to move back at some point. But I think it's more of like a crutch. Like, I'm like, oh, I don't need, like, I know I love Bombay, but Bombay doesn't love me as much as I love it. So it's more of like an ego thing that I'm like, I don't need this place.
I don't think Bombay loves anyone.
I don't know. I feel like people that grew up here, they have like a different, like, they're not paying rent. They have their parents. They have everything. It's like, okay, you might as well become an actor, or I might as well, like, you have so much more, like,
They have a
privilege
they
that
have a better safety net in a way.
100%. Even people that come from out of Bombay, like, they understand what we go through, because like renting in the city is like awful.
Yeah.
It's so expensive, and
No
like
one wants to give you a flat.
no one wants to give you a flat. It's always like there's just all these like things up against you that you're like, why am I going through this? Just to live in like it's fine. I love Bombay, and I love that like the fact when it does give you, it feels a lot like sweeter because it's not often.
Yeah. Do you get casted to play Indian roles, or they're usually NRI roles?
Always Indian.
But how do you manage the accent?
I have a Hindi teacher. We work like all the time.
Oh, can you do your Hindi Indian accent? Say a line from Mismatched that you said.
Like, I had this really cheesy line in Mismatched where I'm like, yaar, aisa puppy dog face banaogi to tumhari khilli nahi ura sakungi. And I was like, who says khilli? Like, it's so like, it's almost like turkey. And I have a line where I'm like, hey, mera samosa chakna hai. Like, what the fuck is that? Who wants to chakna your samosa?
So did you have any exposure to like performance arts in high school?
In high school, I would do plays and all, but like mostly it was like I mostly was a dancer. So I did like Bharatnatyam. I did my Arangetram, and my Pishi in Calcutta has an Odissi school, so I would always do Odissi. And like I loved dancing. It was really like it was so much fun. And like it was just like not related. In the US, it's like, what am I doing? Like, why am I? It just felt like I wanted to do hip hop and like cool things that my friends were doing. So at the time, I never appreciated it. But now when I'm here, I'm like so glad that my mom like forced me to go years and years of it.
Have there been other NRI actors who've moved to India who you've met who've gone through similar things and quit or are still going through?
Both. Most have quit.
Or what do you think is the reason most of them quit?
We don't fit. Like, we don't ever, like, just because it's not like I know, of course, it's an accent thing, but it's also like,
Culturally.
yeah. I mean, I feel like I've been here 7 years now where like people, like, they love me for everything, but when it comes down to like, I'm not even asking for like a village role, but it comes down to like, oh, she's not like as Indian as we want her to be. And it's just like, because of like, even in Mismatched, like I was told my accent was totally fine, but they still made me dub just to like be double sure, because they were like, we already have an American character. We don't even want like a little bit of like a hint. And like people were like, we loved her performance and her unidentifiable accent. Because it's like, I'm not going to be like extra like I'm supposed to be a Delhi girl, but I was like, I'm not going to like make it so Delhi. Like, that's like too hectic also. I'm already like a cool biker chick. I don't have to
Yeah, you don't want to become a caricature.
Yeah, exactly. And I just feel like we don't fit anywhere. Like in the US and Hollywood, it's not like Indians are getting great roles. Like we're either being cast as like racially ambiguous people or like Muslim convicts, or like there was that one show, Never Have I Ever, where they took Americans for, but like even that was like not a great show. Like it was not like.
Coming back to the actors moving from America, because also for you guys, I guess it's also like this glamorized idea of what Bollywood could be like.
Yeah.
So you said a lot of people do quit because of.
Yeah.
How did you manage not to quit? Did you ever want to quit?
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, during COVID, I was like, now it's over. Like, after COVID, what's gonna happen? Like, COVID was like a very tough time because everybody was just not earning and like without purpose. And like, I'm not one of those people that's gonna like keep grooming myself every day. Like, I was just depressed and like eating and drinking wine every single day. So I definitely, I honestly, I don't know what made me stay. I think it's the people. Like, I met really the people I've met here, and if you like, the more I meet people here and the more I compare to Americans, like it's like worlds apart. People here have like so many different serotonin inducing things instead of Americans. Americans are just like money, money, house, car, money, and like, okay, now I'm fine. Like, let's travel. Like, the biggest thing they look forward to is like Burning Man, or like, oh my God, I can't wait to go to Arizona this weekend and like my bachelor party. Like, it's just like, and I feel like my life in Bombay has been so eventful that like I don't feel like I need to like travel outside. Like, I travel for fun, but it's not like in America it's like I get 3 weeks of PTO and I'm gonna do this. It's like very toxic because you're just like forever chasing this like, okay, I've gone to Europe, now let me do China, let me go to Kilimanjaro, let me do this. Like, and I love that for you, but like, I love Bombay in that sense. It's very self-sufficient where you don't feel, and I don't even think it's a Bombay thing. I think it's all of India. Like, everyone here is just so happy in like whatever they're doing. And it's almost like America has this privilege of like, oh, like, I am happy, but like, there's always something else that's missing. And I feel like some people it's like Louis Vuitton or like whatever materialized things, and I feel like here it's a very different, like, you can just be doing yoga every day and you're happy, and you live in Goa and you just like watch the sea every day. It's like a lot more like simple, and I think that is a really much like, I feel like Americans don't have that at all.
Was that an easy switch for you to make though, because you grew up a certain way and then?
I think I always was that person, because even in college people were like interviewing for like Deloitte, KPMG, and like they're like, why aren't you doing that? And I was like, honestly, like, I don't know if I want to like go into a big four and start working and like immediately become a slave and all that stuff. And like, I just always felt like something was a little bit off with me. So I kind of was like, let me see if like I fit in better here. And then I remember one year I went home for Christmas and I was with my two best friends from college. We're still best friends. And I was like, let's do like 2 highs and 2 lows, like from the year. Like, let's do a year summary. And like one of them was like, oh, like I got promoted and Google made me this, that, this. And like the low was that I couldn't travel. And like my other friend was like, oh, the highs was that I got my own place in SF, but the lows was that the interior designer wasn't good. And I was like, what? Like, I was like my highs were that I found acting and yoga. Like, when I found acting, it was so like cathartic, because like I didn't realize that I've been like repressing emotions my whole life. And like, without therapy, you can like go through things that you didn't even realize. You always see people talking about it, like, oh, I learned so much from this experience or whatever, and you're like, whatever. But then when you actually go through it yourself, you're like, wow, this is kind of crazy. And like, you pair it with yoga and like just like breathing and like very like basic elemental things that you don't think about at ever. Like, those are like, I was having like a really like, I was freaking out. I thought I like reached enlightenment the year I started doing yoga and acting together. So I was trying to explain that to them. They both were like,
You do you.
You sound weird. I was just like, I don't know how to explain this, but I feel different. I'm a different person. And like, with that, I feel like I connect with people here on that so much more. Like, you kind of just like can tell, like, it's like, okay, like she gets it. Like, Ritasha is one of those people, and like a lot of actors, like, they get it. Like, we're all a little bit crazy and weird and like overly sensitive and dramatic. And I used to always think people were being pretentious when they talk like that, but we are like, it's not. Like, we're all just a little bit.
But would you recommend actors from abroad who do want to, like Indian actors, Indian origin actors who want to become actors over here, to move over here? Or do you think that, like, what would be like your 5-step guide to surviving Bombay in India in terms of becoming an actor?
The plan is to not have a plan. Like, that's the best. And I mean, I don't even think there's a 5-step guide. It's pretty like straightforward. It's more just like patience and like accepting that you are here now, and like not like every day being like, okay, well, I'm gonna go to Nagar, knock on everyone's doors. And like, I feel like that like hyperness is like, you have to just like, you need to put yourself through a Vipassana and just like let things happen, because things won't happen for a while.
But yeah, no, we have had a fair share of cannibals in India, and
You're like, I don't know why people aren't talking about this.
yeah, there's a great film about cannibalism actually called Michael. It's a German-Austrian film.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's based on a true story. But so Michael's about this guy who basically raises his woman in his basement and rapes her for the next 18 years of her life
Whoa.
from the point she's a child, and
then eats him?
no, and she bears children to her, like she bears his kids,
And then?
they get raped too, and it's a true story. Then I read about this cannibal.
Worse than Kissa. This is like real fucking shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Then there's another great. I mean, I don't know why I'm calling it great.
We're seeing a very dark side of you today. This is great.
No, but there's actually like European cinema does it really well, like because it does exist.
Why do you? What about this intrigues you, or like makes you feel that this is like one of the greatest things I've seen?
I think like. I really think everyone is really, really fucked up, and what you see on the surface level is like I wouldn't be surprised if you murdered and killed people and did that in your spare time, and you were here and acting all normal.
You wouldn't be like, she's fucked up.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone I knew did that, because I don't think you ever know anyone.
Don't you think that's because the media has trivialized murder, and that's why you're like, oh, if she's a murderer, it's okay?
No, I don't think it's okay, but I am convinced that we are already around people who are probably pedos, are probably rapists, are probably
That's true.
murderers.
After Me Too, everyone we knew was like Me Too, so that's true.
And I think like you can't.
But they're all back at work, so clearly we have no societal like boundaries. We're like, yeah, come back to work. It's okay.
We couldn't find someone better than you.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Isn't that strange? I was just talking about that yesterday with my friend. I was like, everyone is back at work. Like, there's nobody like,
Bill Cosby isn't.
But that he was like 60 women or something wild, right?
Yeah.
Like, Hollywood still is okay. I feel like in India, we're just like, it's okay.
Yeah. Enough time's passed. Everyone's forgotten about it.
Yeah, and all the women are like, oh, he was going through shit. Like, he's poor, but like, they'll just say something.
No, but isn't that really sad? Like, these women who have called these people out, and then they come back and work, and they are still in the same position that they were at.
I
And
think
then
they're all like Seema aunties.
you will regret coming clean about what happened to you. Because you're like,
Yeah.
they don't face consequences and they're
People
back at
remember
work.
the girl that came out and like, oh, she must have asked for it versus the guy that actually committed the crime.
Yeah. No, I'm sure there is a small percentage where like it is also there is some truth in what the guy is saying, but then if there's so many women calling out a dude, like if you're not like looking into it actively, or
Yeah.
like even like people are willingly working with these people, it's
Yeah.
strange.
I was Me Too'd by someone.
You were Me Too'd.
Yeah. No, like by someone. Like they got accused, and then like I read about it in the news, and it was like exactly everything that he did to me and my friend.
In Bombay.
Yeah.
Did you ever?
I can say his name, I think.
Yeah, you can. Doesn't
I don't
matter.
think he'll see this or care. Anirban Blah, he was like the head of
Oh
Kwan.
yeah, I was. Yeah.
He was head of Kwan, and he was like,
I was signed by Quan.
you were?
Yeah, they never gave me work.
For like direction.
Yeah, direction and writing.
Now they're what? Collective now.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is when Madhu and him were like the two
Mathu.
Masaba's
Oh,
ex-husband.
Mantena.
Isn't his name?
Yeah,
Madhu?
yeah.
Yeah, like
Wait, he was a part of this?
no, I never met him. That's the fucked up part. Anirban used to come to modeling agencies and meet girls, and he like met me and was like, you need to meet with me specifically, and I'm gonna mentor you. And like Deepika in Cocktail became what she is today because I found her during Cocktail. So like obviously when you hear all the like Kriti Sanon, Nidhi Agarwal, he was just naming girls left and right, which is true. I don't know. I don't know if he Me Too'd them too, but like when you're hearing that at like this was like 2018, I was like, wow, like I'm sorted. Like I'm gonna get launched, and like he'd make me meet him at the Kwan guest house every like weekend, and like he'd be like, you need to he'd pretend to give me tasks like, oh, this pretend like you're on the cover of a magazine. I want you to bring 3 looks and like how you do your hair and makeup. So I brought them, and then he was like, now go wear it for me. And I was like, I'm not gonna wear it for you, you creepo. And then like when the article, he did it to some really nice Afghan girl that was an actor also. She wrote an article, like this article came out, and everything like to the T, it was like listed. And I was like, whoa, that's another level of like
It's like a pattern. Like it's
like
yeah.
proper psychopath. And like even after he got called out, he would still message me, and then he staged his suicide.
Yeah, I remember
He
that.
staged it. He like told the cops he was gonna jump off, and then he never did. So the cops came and were like, "Don't jump off. We'll just like." And then I think he lives in Bangalore now, and like
Yeah, now he's like a home chef.
food critic or something.
Yeah.
was like, and he still like likes my pictures sometimes, and I'm
So
like,
wait, did you ever call him out?
I just stopped talking to him. I was like, why? Like,
So this happened to you like the first time you ever went to that one guest house? Like he was like,
this was over many months.
so he
I
kind
was
of like
meeting him.
built up your trust over a few
Yeah,
months
and he
and
would
then
try to kiss me all the time. One time he tried to finger me. I was like, bro, I think thankfully because I was like a little, I'm not like a small town girl that's like very like sweet and nice. Like I was like, listen, this is not how it happens, like whatever. But I think he was like, I love being around you, so I'm still gonna like launch you and like, don't worry, all the girls at Kwan know about you. And I was like, I don't like nothing
did
after.
you ever get any work through Kwan?
Obviously not.
Neither did I.
Exactly. I'm just like, this is so fucked up how many girls that he did to my roommate. My roommate was also like meeting him. He was doing, who knows? Like, when you're in that much power, girls
Yeah.
will obviously like believe you and flock to you. And like, even I went to his house once when his wife wasn't there. I was just like, bro, this is very, and you're so young, you're not gonna be like, this is weird. Like, now I'm a like, obviously now I know better. But at that time, I was like, Mom, I'm gonna get launched.
No, but when you would tell him like, dude, like don't do this shit with me, would he still try it the next time?
Yeah.
Like,
Like he would make me drink a lot of wine, and I love wine, so I would drink it. And I think that was probably the only thing I shouldn't have done, because he was like, "Itna peeti hai to like chalega." And like every time I'd try to leave, he'd be like, "No, I'll sit for another time." Like, and then he just like keep like every time, and then every time the door would open and he tried to leave, bye. Like I was like, no, every time you can't try this. It's like you gotta give him props for like persisting. Determination will always get you far.
and like I know he got called out by a lot of people though.
Exactly. That's why when I read the article, it was like creepy, because I was like, you didn't even change your way at all, like a little bit. Like you just like he also did this, like he's like, I do this experiment where I make the girls go to a train station and I make them beg, because like they think they're too beautiful and they need to learn how to be like all characters. And I was like, shut up, like I'm not doing that. And he was like, that's what, like he'll just name, like even Shobita, he'd like name girls like they're all like Miss India. All the Miss India girls would like go to him. I was just like, wow, I can't believe. I hope that like whatever they went through was like worth it, or if they actually like had to sleep with them, who knows? Like it's so crazy. I don't really want to think
But
about
wait,
it.
this was the only experience you had some like this.
Like me too. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so.
Is there any advice you'd give to aspiring actors, like who want to make it, or like break in, or like at least like start off in like acting?
Yeah, just keep like keep working. Like I feel like what helped me the most was a lot of just keep auditioning, like a lot. Even if you're not getting auditions, just like find scenes and keep doing them by yourself with a scene partner. But mostly auditions will be by yourself. So like for me, I feel like the biggest thing that helped me was just working on my audition skills, and like even in person and like at home. Like you don't, because once you get on set, it's like you don't have time to be nervous or anything like that. So if you're lucky to get on a set, make sure you've like done that kind of prep, and like don't beat yourself up anymore. Like you think that that person got that role and all that, like don't put yourself through unnecessary mental health issues, because it's never gonna help. It's always gonna make it worse.
And
Self-talk is always a very big factor.
coming to the audition thing, what's the best way to record an audition or do an audition for yourself? Because a lot of auditions now are self-taped.
Our self-tape.
Yeah, so how do you do a good audition when you don't have someone reading lines to you, or like?
You have to have someone reading lines.
So you always have someone with you.
I have like my favorites. Like Ritasha is like my lucky charm, because like for Dharma and Mismatched, she was there, and I'm like, I need you all the time. Like my roommate is an acting teacher, but even with him, I don't like to audition that much, because I'm like, you're an acting teacher, you're gonna get too like technical and be like, why
Who's your
don't
roommate?
he's a teacher at Jeff's, Vishal.
Vishal?
Yeah, but I love working with him, but I feel like on auditions he's very like, I think you can do like a little more like, and like auditions are already so high stress that like he'll make it more of like an exercise, and like he's obviously very great at his job, but I think like the more demanding auditions, like I had to do one where I had to cry recently, and I suck at that, so I was just like, he was really good on it, and it didn't like make me, but like as a teacher you will be like, oh, let's implement this technique or that technique, and I'm
Use
like,
your sense memory.
no, yeah, I'm like, no, this is too stressful. I just want to like get it out of the way. And like you also like with auditions, you run out of steam. Like the first time is never gonna, the last time won't be as good as the first. So you just kind of have to like, you have to build that with yourself as an actor, that like, okay, this is it. This is the best I can do, and like It's always usually fine.
Do you use a ring light?
No, I like natural light. And I use front-facing camera. And like a lot of actors that are very like Ritasha, all these like drama school kids, they'll be like, don't do that. They'll become like, it's like your performance will not be. And I'm like, do what works for you. It's fine. Yeah. I think once I do a few more projects and have a little more confidence, I think I'll be a little bit more. Yeah. I still feel like even though I've done work, I still feel like as new as I was yesterday because it's like such a humbling industry.
Yeah. And last thing, what's been your, like you did say that you did want to quit at different points, but what's been the one thing that's stopped you from wanting to quit? And what was the most difficult part of your journey so far as an actor?
I'll do the most difficult part because I don't really know the answer to the first part. I think that we're all just crazy and still like running. I think we're all like hamsters and hamster wheels in Bombay that we're like, because it's given you even like 5%, you just think like, I don't know if it's naive or in it, like I'm just believing in the universe that like it will give me back something. Because I just, every time I feel like packing up my bags, I'm like, I know Bombay won't miss me, but I feel like, oh, like I could just like, there's a little bit left in the orange that I can juice out. And I just, it's going to be very hard to make that call that like, okay, I've done what I needed. It's not like there is no plan, I guess, in that sense. But the hardest part, I think, was just like the financial security, which is like still so like, I mean, now it's fine, but like the days that it wasn't, I was like, you don't even know how to solve, like you can't, like what do? You can't ask for money, like you can't ask your parents, obviously. So you just kind of like go in circles and like you looking at weird English typing jobs online. Like you go into a black hole on LinkedIn thinking that like, oh, I'll just get a tech job here. Like it just like isn't, all that stuff kind of like makes it worse. And like during COVID, I think that was like a very, like I was like, what is my calling? Like what am I supposed to do with my life? Like I know that I can become a dance teacher or something, but like what do you really want to spend 24/7 doing? And then like besides acting, it's really hard for me to like justify unless it's paying me like a lot. And that's the problem. Like you're always going to be like money versus like career. And like we're obviously so privileged to have that luxury that we can discuss this even and not have to be like a carpenter or like, I don't know, whatever parents. So, like our parents didn't have that luxury. So I can't even talk to them about it because they're like, do you hear yourself right now? You have the best problem. Like you don't know if you should act or like what to do. I'm like, yeah, because it's just like, I just feel like I need to find something that would be as rewarding as acting that I haven't yet. I think it's really fun because I'm willing, like I talk to my writer friends, I talk to my producer friends. I'm like, what do you do on a daily basis? Like, is this something that I would, because I feel like I have this skill, but like, and that's also the beauty of our industry that like, even if I choose to leave acting, and I feel like there'll be so many other things I can try to do that would be just as like rewarding, because to be on a film project or any project and to contribute is so like, when you like start, like I just think it's a beautiful process, like teamwork and all that shit.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Like even when I think about it, if I don't end up becoming a director, I think like, okay, I could do this instead. I could do this, like things related to films. And I mean,
would love
it's such
to.
a
I think I could be like a really
place.
fun, like not creative producer, but just like a producer, because I'm good at like people managing, and I'm not like gonna yell or get flustered. I'm very good in like high stress, and like I just have to write checks. And like sometimes be like, that doesn't work. Like I don't know. Like I feel like that would be really fun because I'm like not a direct. I don't think I could direct people. I think I would get to. It would be really draining, like empathetically, to like listen to actors complain all day or like, oh, I think the actor would do this. Like it just feels like a lot more work and like way too much pressure. But I would love to see like something from the ground up, like, and then the finishing product. I think that's like magical, and I feel like it would be really sad if I went to tech and like had to do that with software. Like it would never be the same. So I hope that like I can somehow make some like grounding here.
So you think you'll never leave the film industry now?
I don't know.
Is that what you're thinking?
I have to be like it would take a lot.
Yeah.
And like I need and like right now my standards are really low. Like I just need to afford rent, couple trips to the mountains when I want. Like I don't need much. I'm not asking for like Maldives and all. Like I just want like.
But you're asking to live in Bandra though.
That is because my rent in Juhu is going up, and that is a very real problem that everyone is going through. Because I was like, oh, 1.25 is so high, I'll easily find something in Bandra for one. No, like that was a big slap. They're like, are you joking? For one, you can get like this much studio. Like
Yeah,
that was
Bandra's pretty insane.
So now I'm like, shit, why did I move? But then it's fine. I think I've been in that house for 6 years and I was getting too like attached to my
Environment.
Yeah. I could feel myself becoming a Juhu auntie. Like I was having dreams about babies and like playing with my baby on the chat and like taking her to Juhu Beach and all. I was like, ugh, this is weird. Like I don't even have a husband. Like why have I skipped to that step and gone straight? Like let's just start with the dog. Like calm down, Priya. So that's why I think I need to move, and Bandra feels more.
So yeah, we're done with this episode. So like, share, subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe.
And follow Priya and give her work if you're a casting director.
Yes. Hire me. Love you. Thank you.